Hey guys, good afternoon. I'm Becca Hilburn. I'm a comic artist in Nashville and I love manga probably about as much as you guys love manga. Why don't you guys let me know in the chat what your favorite comics are and we can talk about that a little bit. My favorite comics are Yotsuba. I used to like Inuyasha a lot. I used to like Rama 1/2 a lot, and I'm currently reading Barakamon, which is a really cute comic about a calligrapher who befriends a village full of children. So I like really cute, energetic things. I also like funny, comedic sort of comics. So you guys can tell manga has really influenced my art. Manga is the reason I draw comics today. So it's really important to me to be able to share this with you guys today. So I hope you guys have your pencils. I hope you have your paper. I hope you guys are ready to draw. So I spread out some of my most manga inspired examples of art. Some of them go really manga and look like shoujo art, so sort of like Sailor Moon or Cardcaptor Sakura. Some of them are much more cartoony, like Steven Universe, but it all sort of falls under this umbrella category. And once you guys understand the basics of how to draw these things, you'll be able to create your own unique manga style. So I sent some handouts for you guys. I hope you got them handy. I'm gonna grab my copies of them as well, and we can go ahead and get started. So I wanna start with drawing really cute chibi figures. And chibi just sort of means like all the proportions have been squinched down, made smaller. And I have a handout for you guys here that demonstrates those kinds of proportions. I'm gonna adjust my camera so you guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. But I've broken down the human figure into some really basic shapes. So if you can draw these basic shapes, you'll be able to draw people. That's pretty exciting, huh? You're gonna need to know how to draw a rectangle. You're gonna need to know how to draw an oval. You're gonna need to know how to draw triangles. And you're gonna need to know how to draw circles. If you can draw these basic shapes, you're gonna be able to draw these sort of things, and I will kind of show you guys. So we have the rectangle here, that's their torso. And you can draw all kinds of people just by changing whether or not the shoulder part or the hip part is wider. You can also use an egg shape for the torso, or kind of like a flour sack for the torso. So I want you guys to play around with and doodle, experiment with drawing different kinds of torsos. And then you'll need to be able to draw a circle. And that's the main part of the head. That's like the skull part of your head. And one more shape is really important. Cylinders, which is like soda cans, kind of. So, can you guys draw stick figures? Do you guys know how to draw stick figures? I bet you do. We're gonna go over it really quickly, just in case. I use stick figures when I'm developing figures to kind of capture the pose. So we're gonna start with a straight line, but it can also be a curved line. It doesn't have to be a straight line. We're just starting with a straight line for demonstration purposes. And we're gonna draw a rectangle, and that's the torso of the person. And if you wanna draw somebody from kind of a side or a 3/4 view, you would still start with a rectangle. Then we're gonna draw a circle. And it doesn't have to be a perfectly round circle. Then we're gonna draw kind of an oval or an egg shape, and that's the rib cage. Raise your hand if you know what the rib cage is. Then we're going to draw another oval here. Those are the hips, the hip bones, or the pelvis. So pretty simple, right? Pretty basic. And we're using the line we drew at the beginning to just kind of help us line everything up. Then we're going to draw a curvy line here, and it can curve upward or it can curve downward. That is the collarbone. That kind of connects your arms, connects your shoulders. We're going to draw another oval. That is the neck. We're going to draw a line, and that's going to tell us where to put the neck when we're a little further on in the drawing. Then we use our stick figure drawing skills to draw arms and legs. So we're really just drawing a really complicated stick figure right now. Then I draw something that looks kind of like an axle on a car. Helps me place the legs. And then we're going to do stick figure drawing again. To draw the legs. And finally, we're going to use some triangles to sketch in the feet. So today I'm going to focus mostly on showing you guys how to draw cute chibi figures, cute cartoony figures. And I'm also going to show you how to draw really cute manga faces. And I want you guys to pay attention when you're reading comics. Maybe you're at the library or you're at school. Pay attention to the kind of art your favorite comics have. And even maybe try drawing some of that art on scrap pieces of paper. So we've got the basic figures down. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting kind of fancy. We're going to draw an oval here. And that's kind of the front of the face, because you know how your face dips down lower than the back of your head, how your jaw kind of comes down lower than the back of your head? Well, that's why we're drawing an oval there. So it's like they're wearing a mask right now. Then I'm going to draw those cylinders, those soda cans, for the top part of the arm and the bottom part of the arm. And when I'm drawing in my chibi style, in my cute cartoony style, I like to draw really big hands and really big feet because I think that looks even cuter. So we've got big heads, we're going to have big ears, big hands, and big feet. And I switched over to the blue just so that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. And then I use a cylinder to sketch in where the neck goes. And I want you guys to play around with how large you draw the oval in comparison to the circle, because that's going to kind of change how long the face looks. Little kids have shorter little ovals. Adults have longer ovals. So just sort of play around with it. If you want something that looks cuter, you can even do an oval the long way at the bottom of the face and give them kind of chubby cheeks. And when you're an artist, you got to bring part of yourself to the pieces that you draw. Bring your own history and your own experiences in. And to me, that means you got to draw characters that look like you sometimes, or look like your friends, or look like family members, people you know. When you draw from your real life, then your drawings feel more real, even if you're drawing cartoony kind of things. And you can draw skinny people or fat people, chubby people, any kind of person you want to draw. You just have to kind of change your proportions, change how wide you draw your cylinders. Skinny people have skinny cylinders for legs, and larger people have larger cylinders for legs. And you can draw kind of egg shapes. Or you can give them skinny waist, or you can combine any of these elements to kind of design your own people. The more you play around with it, the more you're going to find stuff you like, styles that you want to keep moving towards. And it's okay to take elements from shows you like and bring them into your own art. So think about the kind of shows you like to watch, the kind of comics you like to read, and think about why you like those shows. What is it about the art that you really like, and bring that into your own drawings. So I have drawn a line going down the front of the face, and now I'm going to draw another one. And this helps me find the middle of the face so that I can place the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. I'm going to draw another line across the middle of the face here. This is where we're going to put the eyes. And then I'm going to draw an eye in the middle. And this is just so we can place the eyes, because human eyes are generally one eye width apart. Now you guys can play around with that. You can try putting them closer. You can try putting them further apart. It's definitely a great way to develop different characters. But generally people's eyes are about one eye width apart. So I put this eye in the middle so I know where to put the real eyes. Then the nose is about halfway down the face from the eyes to the bottom of the face. And then the mouth is about halfway down from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin. And if you like drawing faces, if you want to practice drawing more faces, I have a few face drawing sheets that should be printed out for you, or you can ask for a copy. And those can be a great place to practice drawing different people's faces. So you could draw your face, you could draw your friends' faces, you could draw your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, your siblings, older brother, older sister, younger sister. Just practice drawing people. If you're watching TV, maybe try drawing them on these handouts, these practice sheets. So I'm going to switch back over here to the practice sheet, and I'll show you guys how to kind of develop your own characters, how to take it to the next step. So on this practice sheet, we have all of this already drawn out. So maybe I want to give her like big hair on the sides of her head, like it's pulled out into two ponytails. So this line here, that's where the hair starts for most people. And that's halfway between the eye line and the top of the head. So I'm just kind of drawing her hair like it was pulled into two ponytails. And then I want to give her big curls, because I think big curls are really cute. And maybe you want to give her some hair barrettes, so maybe you want to draw like some stars in her hair. Or you could draw hearts, or you could draw any kind of shape. Bows if you want to. So maybe I'll do stars on this side of the head. And hearts on this side. But really, it's up to you guys. Whatever you think is cool, whatever you think is cute, whatever you think is going to make the character, like give them a lot of personality and make them the kind of person you want them to be, draw that. And think about your characters. You know, what do they like? What do they enjoy doing? Do they like to listen to music? Do they like to draw? Do they like to skate? Are they sporty kind of people, or do they like to read books? Or you could be sporty and like to read books. Those are all things you should think about when you're drawing characters, because you want to bring as much personality to them as possible. Or if you're drawing yourself, what do you like to do for fun? You like to drawing with me today. Maybe you could draw them holding a pencil or holding a sketchbook. Or maybe you like to read. You could draw them reading a book. So I'm going to give her a rounder face. And then I'm going to give her big eyes. And when I draw eyes, I start with that circle shape. Is everybody doing okay? Are y'all drawing along?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Did you guys get to the point where I start drawing eyes on a separate sheet of paper?
I'm sorry, say that again, Becca?
Did you get to the point, did the video get to the point where I started drawing a large pair of eyes on a separate sheet of paper?
Not yet.
Okay.
We are still on the drawing eyes directly on the face.
Yeah, okay.
That's where it stopped, and it looks like it's trying to load. So it could be either you or I. I'm going to try and reload it.
All right, let me know. If it doesn't catch back up, I don't mind redrawing it. Just let me know when I lose y'all.
We are back on. All right, Becca, we are back on live.
All right. So for this here, I drew 3 eyes. Remember how we talked about drawing an invisible eye to help us space the eyes apart? And then I drew 2 circles or 2 ovals to show my eyes. Now when I draw eyes, I usually start with the top lid. And you can draw all sorts of different eyes. In fact, I want you guys, when you go home, or maybe tomorrow, sometime this week, when you're watching TV, when you're reading books, I want you to think about how other people draw eyes and what you like about their style when they draw eyes, and what does that say? What do different types of eyes say about different characters? So then I will draw another bigger circle around my eyes, and I do this because it helps me figure out where my eyebrows are going to go. I want you guys, I hope you have clean hands. If you don't have clean hands, don't do this. Put down your pencil for a moment. I want you to gently feel your face around your eyes, and you'll notice that your eyes are deeper in your face than the rest of your face. They're sunken in a little bit. So drawing these circles, if I were to color this, I would color all of this in, like I would shade it. That way it looks like, you know, the eyes are in the eye sockets. Because if you guys have ever looked at a skull, like for Halloween, you'll notice that like the eye sockets are empty. That's where the eyes go. So after I've kind of figured out where my eyebrows are going to go, and you guys can see that here, I draw the bottom of my eyes. And like I said, there's lots of ways that you can draw eyes. This is just how I do them. And then I draw the pupils and the irises. And you can decide how much detail you want to do. It looks like it might be timing out, so I'm going to wait for it to catch up. But that'll give you guys a chance to practice your own drawing and to bring your own creativity to this and make your own style. Okay, let me know if it cuts out for you guys again and I'll wait up. So, like I said, there's lots of different ways that you can draw eyes. So I'm going to draw a couple more examples. You can draw eyes that are just circles. Circles like this. Where they're drawn all the way around and they have kind of a solid pupil. Do the same over here. You can draw little jelly bean eyes like this, very easy eyes. If you want to get really fancy with them, you could do a little shiny on them. You can draw sort of more closed eyes like this. That can be really good for drawing adults or more serious people. And if you add some wrinkles under their eyes, they start to look kind of tired. You can draw the eyelids on the top and they look even more tired. So those are a few ways to draw eyes. I'm going to draw really sparkly eyes. Like somebody who's seeing something they're really excited about. What are you guys really excited about? What's something that makes your eyes sparkle? Is it candy? Is it a puppy or a kitten? Is it when your favorite TV show comes on or when you see your friend? And you can add as many sparkles as you want to. Realistically, this is the highlight. This is when light hits your eye, and because your eyes are wet, it's kind of glossy. Then I'll draw some eyebrows. And you can draw really tall eyes like this. Like if you, like on Sailor Moon, where they have like the really tall eyes. And then we can draw some eyelashes. Generally, when you draw eyelashes, it means pretty, like a pretty person. And we can draw the bottom eyelid with some eyelashes there too. With big pupils, so we can draw, rather big irises, so we can draw pupils. And then draw the highlights. And you can even do fun shapes for highlights. Like you could do a heart. And make your character really, really cute. And while you're practicing drawing different types of eyes, I want you to think about emotions and what your character is feeling. And I also want you to think about what kind of character they are. Are they a very cute person? Are they a very strong, tough person? What do they do for fun? Because there's all sorts of different ways of drawing eyes, and there's all sorts of different styles of drawing eyes. So I have here a couple of comics that I really enjoy, and they have all these marks in them because these are all illustrations that I want to practice drawing myself. But I want to show you guys, here we have really pretty, very delicate line art, lots of hash marks, very big, delicately drawn eyes. This is still manga. Over here, it's still pretty delicately drawn. Let me see if I can find a better page. But there's lots of filled in black areas and they use this kind of dot mark tone, and the eyes are filled in a little bit more, and the line art is a little heavier, and it doesn't have as many of these really delicate marks on it. So there's lots of different styles of manga. There's lots of different ways to draw. So I want you guys to think about that and to think about what styles you like while you're practicing and while you're finding your styles. We're going to go back over to our template here. I'm going to draw her with kind of wide eyes. And I'm going to give her smaller eyebrows. And a big reflection in her eyes. And then I'll fill in the rest of the eye there. And when I'm drawing ears, I usually keep my ears pretty simple. I just draw a C. And then inside the C, I kind of draw another C, and then another C. So we have the outside of the ear, and then we have kind of the shell part of the ear. And I just draw it in the reverse direction for the other side. And there's lots of different ways you can draw ears. You can draw them a little bit more realistically, where you have kind of the main body of the ear and then the earlobe. You can draw them as kind of like little rectangle-y things. And for her nose, I'm going to give her small kind of button nose. And I think I want to draw her smiling. Pretty cute so far, right guys? But I bet your drawings are even better. So let's say you want to draw noses. Well, usually manga has really simple noses, right? It's kind of like an L shape. Well, that's the shadow of the nose, but you don't have to draw noses that way. You can draw all kinds of different noses. I like to draw noses based around circles and rectangles. So my little circle noses are pretty simple. I just draw the top of the nose and then the nostrils. For my triangular noses, and these can be long triangles, they can be little short triangles. So practice drawing different kinds of triangle noses. You can leave it as a triangle if you want to, depending on your style. Like if you have these like dots for eyes, the triangle noses can be really cool. Maybe I'll draw the shadow under the nose, and then this part is the bridge of the nose. So it's a little bit more detailed than the L shape. Another way that noses are drawn in manga can be just this little bit, where it's just the very bottom part of the shadow of the nose. Nothing else is drawn. You can definitely go really, really simple like that. And I think you should play around, try at drawing different noses with different types of eyes and see what you like best, what combination looks best to you. Maybe show it to your friends and see what they think as well. But in the end, you are the artist, so you get to make the decisions. You call the shots. That's the cool thing about being the artist, is you're the boss. And if you want to get really, really good at drawing, I recommend you draw what you see around you. Practice drawing people you know. right, so that's a few really easy noses. Another type of nose I like to do is just kind of like little round button nose. You can also do a bigger version of it. So that could be really cute with sort of the dots for eyes. And then the little round ears. And then we're doing the long ways oval for the bottom of the face. And then two little eyebrows. So even something really easy and simple like this can be really cute and fun to draw. And it can tell you a lot of information about the character. So what kind of person do you think this little guy is? What's his personality like? What do you guys think? I'm drawing him in a little t-shirt. So hopefully that gave you guys some ideas. I'm going to go back to sketching this character here. And I think I'm going to put her in a tank top. Since it's so nice and spring-like outside, I know y'all came in from outside. It must have felt really nice to be playing out on the equipment in the sun. I'm definitely ready for spring. And then it's not quite spring yet, so I think I'm going to draw pants on her. And when I draw pants on a character, I pretty much just follow what I've already drawn, and I add in a few wrinkles here and there. Now, if they're wearing maybe baggier pants, then I'll kind of follow the basic forms, but you know, extend it out a little bit so it's not as tight to the legs. And I always draw pockets, because where would we be without pockets? Where would you put your stuff if you didn't have pockets? And also draw some wrinkles down here where the pants kind of meet the shoes. And practicing this kind of stuff can be really important, because a lot of really good manga art has really nice, really well-drawn clothing. That's a bad example. This is a better example, where there's lots of beautiful folds in the clothing. So understanding how to draw people, how to draw clothing, that's important. What changes isn't so much the isn't so much like the basics. It's the style and how you do it and what proportions you do things in. So that's why I'm encouraging you guys to play around and to study how other artists draw things and to figure out things that you like and what works for you. Because there's all sorts of different styles. When we talk about manga as a style or anime as a style, there isn't just one style to draw. There's lots of different styles, and you can definitely bring your own personality to it. And you might decide you don't want to draw all that detail. You don't want to draw all those folds. So just drawing a few little wrinkles here and there can definitely add a lot of information, a lot of visual interest, and can tell a story about the characters without getting super complicated or hard to do. So I'll start drawing this gentleman over here. And just to add a little bit of variety, I'm going to draw his eyes a little bit narrower than hers, and I'm going to give him a triangle nose, so it's different, but I'm going to give him a big smile too. Except his smile, I'm going to draw it where it kind of tilts up at the corner, give him a little bit more personality. give him a chin. And I do that. I figure out where I want to draw people's chins by kind of drawing in like a really skinny long oval like that. Since chins for many people, like, okay, so we have the basic face, right? And then we have the long oval we talked about, right? And then at the very bottom of the long oval, we have the chin. And that just kind of helps me figure out where I want to put that particular person's chin. So his face is longer. I'm not going to draw it quite as round as I drew hers. I'm going to draw his neck a little bit wider as well. And you know what? Let's draw different kinds of ears. Let's give him different ears. So we're going to draw those rectangle ears I showed you guys. Because I've never really done that with this style, and I want to see how it looks. And the only way you can see how it looks is by doing it. And since I gave her really big shiny eyes, I'll keep his eyes kind of simple. But he looks like a nice dude so far. My pencil definitely needs to be sharpened. So give me a second. Take a stretch break, yawn, fidget, or practice doodling. All right. So I'm giving him a more triangular nose. So I'm going to kind of draw the shadow underneath. And then she has smaller eyebrows. So I want to give him maybe larger eyebrows. Now let's say I want to draw one of them with glasses, right? Does anybody here today wear glasses? Or do you guys know anybody who wears glasses? I have to wear glasses sometimes. I can't see very well. So when I draw glasses, I start by drawing the shape of the glasses around that person's eyes. So she's wearing, let's say she's wearing big sunglasses. And when you're drawing big eyes like this, you need the glasses to be big too. They need to be bigger than the eyes they're going over, right? So I started out by kind of sketching into circles, and now I'm kind of tightening up the shape of the glasses. And I'm drawing this in with another color because it makes it easier for me to see where her eyes are and where the glasses are going to be. Then I draw the bridge of the nose on the glasses, and I draw the arms of the glasses going, now see, you can tell her ears aren't quite even because this glass wants to go down and this one wants to go up. So you got to try to force it so that they're going in the same direction. Don't want her glasses to be all catamampus. Okay, now she's got glasses on, and that's another thing that adds to her personality. Let's see, what should we do with him? Maybe we should give him dreadlocks? I don't know. What do you guys think? What kind of hair should he have? Let's see. Give her some bracelets. And if you want to draw a chain bracelet or a bead bracelet really easily, so let's say this is the arm right here. What I do is I draw kind of a curvy circular line, and then I might draw circles like that. Looks kind of like beads. Or if I wanted to draw chains, let's draw another fake arm and another sketch of where the bracelet's going to go. So with chains, you can kind of vary how it looks by drawing them different sizes. But I'm drawing them big so you guys can kind of see. It's like a big charm bracelet. But since she's so tiny here, we're just gonna leave that like that. So with hands, we already kind of talked about feet a little bit. With hands, I know hands can be really scary for some people, and a lot of people will draw the hands like hidden behind the back so you don't have to see them, but hands don't have to be super scary. So with the hand, we have kind of a basic shape. And I bet you guys know what this shape looks like, right? Any of you guys play baseball or have played t-ball or have seen a baseball game? It looks like home plate, right? Okay, so that is the palm of the hand. Might be a little bit easier to see that going that way. So we have this kind of meaty bit here where the thumb goes in, that's muscle. And then we've got fingers, 4 fingers. But when it comes to like old cartoons, like really old Mickey Mouse cartoons, they only have 3 fingers. And do you guys know why they only have 3 fingers? I'll give you guys a chance to think about it and let me know. So when you're drawing hands, you can draw hands all sorts of different ways. Today, we're gonna do really easy cartoony hands, but I want you guys to practice drawing hands. You don't have to show anybody, or you can show everybody if you like how they turn out, but we're gonna draw some really easy hands. And the way I like to do that is with cartoony fingers, like balloons. So big, chunky fingers. So we have kind of a basic hand, and that can be the back side of the hand, or it can be the inside of the hand if you just draw this kind of palm line. Now, when I draw hands, you'll see that we have 1, 2, 3 joints to our fingers. I only draw them with 2 usually, and that's just because it's easier for me to draw. And the whole point of drawing isn't to be perfect, it's to be good enough so that people know what you're drawing, so you can get your message across. And drawing is definitely one of those things where practicing makes you perfect. So the more you practice and the more you practice drawing things you see in books or things you see in real life, the better you're gonna get. Let's try drawing a fist real quick. So you guys see, I'm kind of sketching these really basic shapes first, and that's kind of a note to myself so that I know where I want to put everything. And you'll also see me, if I can, I'll duplicate the gesture, so like I'm making a fist, and that's so that I have reference. I can look at it and draw what I see. Because when you don't know something, what should you do? Look it up. Or ask somebody else. Ask an adult or ask one of your friends. Hey, do you know how to draw hands? Do you know how to draw horses? Can you show me? And that way you guys get to grow together as artists. You all become better artists. So for this hand, I'm gonna, let's see, what do I want to do? Maybe have one finger out, like it's just like a kind of a casual hand. How do you guys, when you guys are just kind of hanging out and you're not doing anything, like how do you hold your hands? I think I usually hold mine kind of like curled up like that. I don't know if that's normal, but I guess it doesn't really matter if it's normal. You guys can also practice drawing things you see in like magazines or in like advertisements, things you see on TV or on the computer. So like I said, I draw really big hands for this art style because I think big hands look cute. So I'm going to draw this hand out more. And her arms are a little bit long, but that's okay. It's still cute, and that's really what matters. What matters is, are you happy with your drawing? If you're happy with your drawing, then that's what's important. If you look at something you drew and you're like, yeah, that looks really cool, or wow, I drew that so well, then you won. That's the end game. That's what you want. Okay. I thought I lost y'all for a second. Okay, so I haven't heard any feedback on what y'all want for his hair, so I'm gonna have to give him some hair. I'm gonna have to think of something. Maybe we'll do big curls. We did say dreadlocks, though. Let's go with dreadlocks, sure. And maybe he's wearing them pulled back. So we wouldn't necessarily see a lot of them hanging down behind his head. We would see maybe the elastic he's using to pull them back, and then maybe like a couple here and there behind his hair. Because like, you know, when you have your hair pulled back, you can sometimes see it behind your face. And then for the feet, you can leave them triangles if you want to. For feet that are facing towards you when you're drawing them, this kind of triangle would work. And then for feet that are kind of facing pointed out, this kind of triangle would work. Or you can add just a few details like the tongue on the shoe and the shoelaces. And that can be really easy. It's just like a big bow. So you could even just draw 5 shapes and it already starts to look kind of like a bow. But if you draw the line on the inside, it starts to look even more like laces. And then I'm drawing like the cross laces, but you can do the diagonal ones like this, the zigzag ones like a zipper too. So those are some really easy basic shoes. You can make them into like Converses if you just draw like the white part on the front. And I'll color them in so you guys can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. So this would be an arm where the back of the hand is facing the viewer. And that's doing where he's just kind of got his hand curled up like that. And then let's draw really simple shoes like Vans, where we have like the tongue of the shoe and they go sort of back like that. So, and that would be where you put your foot. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Is there anything you want to see me draw for you? Or are you guys ready to start practicing? You guys have lots of different practice sheets you can use. And I would love to see what you guys draw. So These are sort of the figure templates, and I'd love to see you guys design your own characters or practice drawing yourselves or your families. And this is sort of a basic, cute, cartoony chibi style drawing template. This is one for drawing like babies and kids. This one is drawing for drawing like women and teenage girls. And this one can be used for drawing adult guys.